Now, the only way to really show you how to do a plan is to show you how to do a plan. And best way really is to have you sort of sat with me or working. So this is the closest thing I can do, so you're now looking over my shoulder. So we'll see how we'll work on with this. And right now, how I normally work is I'll have 2 sheets of A4. So I've got one sheet up here, one here. This one's got a bit of a grid on. All I did was I went on to made a Word document, and it says as I said, insert table. So I potted about and did myself some squares. As long as you do a scale and that matches that square, it doesn't matter how big the squares are. Okay. As long as you can translate it well, because this is just your working sketch, all right? But as a rule, sorry, these squares are near as whatever to 2 centimeters, okay? So you could do the same on a bit of paper. It can be a blank sheet if you want. So 2 centimeters equates to 1 meter on the ground, and that is your scale, okay? So I usually have a piece at the top. This is my scribble board for when, if I've got an idea and I want to sketch it out, rather than ruin a piece down here or get in the way, it's just up here. So I can sketch up here. So for example, I can go scale. So you've got 2 centimeters, and that's equal to 1 meter. All right. So a bit of that is that on the ground. Okay. Now we'll also put a title on here. So this is the my little Blitz garden. Okay. Ooh, too big a pen. Incidentally, I've laminated these sheets. If you've got a laminator, brilliant. If you haven't, you can use one of them poly pockets and put them in there. You can use paper and pencil and rubbers, which is fine. I do use them rubby out pens, which are good too. These are just little felt. When you get a wall planner, you get these with them, and 9 times out of 10, they end up spare. But they're brilliant because I can draw on here, and then that's just it gone again. You see, so I can use them for that. So we're going to have a scale on here. So if this is our drawing, we got that there. So that's 2 centimeters equals 1 meter. Now that's, like I said, recognized convention. If you want to use old money, you can, but most people, most suppliers, and a lot of plant people don't really use it because that is internationally recognized. But like using your Latin plant names, okay? It's not. You need something which is consistent, okay? Don't change that when you're working, okay? Don't have something here and, well, that's 30 centimeters there, Michael, and that's like 0.3 meters here, and that's like 300 mil. No. Keep it the same, because if you don't, it'll get all confused and it's not going to be easy to follow. So I tend to keep things in meters. So even if it's 0.1 meters, 10 centimeters, that kind of stuff. Incidentally, we do maths courses if you get stuck. Right, so this is going to be me Blitz garden. Remember, this is, as my boss used to say, a work in progress. All right, so you sketch it, and it can change, but this is all I want you to do. Okay, this is all I want you to have a play with. So this is your little sandpit. So this garden, it works out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12 meters. Okay, that's about 36 odd feet. 12 meters by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 12 by 8. Okay. So it's just, kind of little garden, nice little small garden there. So World War II garden. So so if you imagine that's so this is the back of the garden. So that's where the roadway is there. So that's like where there. So this is where she goes out into the road where parks her car there somewhere. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to offset the path a little bit. So I always put the path in first, because if you're not careful, you can go a bit wrong. So if you got your path in, at least you can see your exits, and this is where this is going to come in handy. So 1 meter is 3 foot path. That's a standard size for slabs, etc. All right. So all of a sudden, one of them squares becomes the width of your path, which makes life a whole lot easier. Okay. If you want wheelchair access, you're looking at about 1.5 meters. Okay, you want to have a generous room if you're going to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to mark on where my exits and entrances are. Well, that's the middle of the house there, so it comes out to here. Okay, so that's the premise of where. So that's the coming out the door. Now, if you've read the reasoning and read my reasoning, this is a World War II garden. So it stands to reason that most of these gardens would have had what's called an Anderson shelter in, which is a little World War II shelter. We are going to put one on because that's going to double as like a bit of a potting shed kind of sort of base camp for it, really. So I've just got a little ruler. So the first thing is it's a feature. So what I would do is put your features in first. Okay, you don't have to be bang accurate with your measurement, but if you've got an existing thing like a tree or a glass house, get them in first and work around them. Okay, so I'm just going to put that across. Now, most Anderson shelters I'm working on, they'll probably be about 6 foot. They weren't very big, but if we work on principle of, say, 3 squares, we'll start up here. Up. So it's probably 8 by 6, which gives you enough room. So this is only like it's not a real Anderson shelter. It's an approximation of one. So we're gonna put that there, and straight away you're starting to fill an area up remarkably quickly. Okay. The Anderson shelter goes there. Okay. Now I want a glass house in there as well. So ones I remember, they're like bits of pallet or bits of knocked together gear. They wouldn't have pallets in World War II. Just whatever scrap wood and whatever bits of panes of glass. Problem is that makes it kind of dangerous. I'm not saying Kelly bless her will walk into the glass and hurt herself, but I can't be doing with that. So it'll look like an old glass house, but it'll be made of perspex. But that's going to be a square one anyway. So if we make ourselves a little bit of a glass house there. So it's not going to be marvellously big. So it's probably going to be, in old money, it would have been about, well, it wouldn't, it'd be about 6 by 4. So we're looking at probably a couple of meters wide. Okay. There's me a couple of meters there. Okay. And we'll do it like that. That's going to be our glass house. All right. Now, the thing is, if this is a World War II garden, and that's your average shelter, when I first looked at this, I thought it would be nice to have a nice little meandering path so you can look at the plants. Now, we've got bombs raining down. You don't want to be hanging about, do you? So that's not right. So what I would tend to do is I'm going to break all the rules in landscaping and have a straight path. You can't do that, Michael. I can, it's my design. So what we'll do, I mean, I could have a bit of Glenn Miller going, oh dear, that's a bit shocking. So that's the benefit of they're great, these marker pens. So we're just going to bring that out a bit more. Swing that up there, that's better. It should just dissect in the glass house. Like that. It's an optical illusion. It doesn't, I've looked at it and it's not the fact that I can't draw straight, it's just the fact that it's an optical illusion. So, like I said, it is a sketch. You can spend all day trying to get this right. And it's entirely up to you, that's your sandpit. But the problem is, as you're faffing about, you forget ideas. I was talking about doing electronic stuff for people. And the thing is with it, I am not an IT person, really. The problem is, by the time I've got an idea, I've lost it. However, the thing is, some of these IT things are pretty good. They're good for doing what I'm doing now. You can actually, the thing to do is you do a hybrid, drawing your features and stuff with it. And then what I suggest you do is you hand draw the rest. So there's my path there. So let's see, because it has like a bit of a tin roof, doesn't it? Okay. So there's my entrance here. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to have this area here somewhere to sit. So we'll probably just gravel it. Okay. Okay, and we just bring that down there, and that's going to be a seated area there. So that's just going to be like a kind of like a patio area. So that's just going to be, I'll put patio there. Right. Now why would I put gravel on? Well, gravel's easy. It's easy to do. It's easy to use. And the thing is with gravel, it's a security thing. So rather than having people looking around your garden, if you can hear crunching of gravel, somebody's there that shouldn't be there. That's how I would use gravel. So that's me G house. So you could use that. So there's so that's your glass house. So your glass house is going to be like, you know, a bit of a door there, a couple of bits of window frames there. You can kind of engineer stuff up, you know, make it look a bit. I think repurposed. They were repurposing stuff years ago, you know. And then what you do is you'd put your bits of tape across them, so you do them like Blitzy style, you know, with the bits of tape across there. So that, when you're explaining it or just seeing it in your head, okay. So that's your Anderson shelter there. So that's going to be a potting shed and what have you, somewhere to sit. Okay. So we can now start. Now this here, you wouldn't believe it, but wartime stuff. Scent and colour was very important. Right. So that's my flower bed. So I'm going to go for, so that there, okay, is going to be basically going to be perennials, okay, and flower. That's about perennials. So you're going to have sort of, now again, it kind of, because you've got these in little squares, and most clumps of perennials are going to be what, 2-3 feet apart, or 2-3 feet in width. So you can roughly work out how many. You don't have to write in what plants they are. Just work out what kind of flowers or shapes or stuff you want. You know what we want there. Okay. That's going to go there. Now, the idea is flowers this side, and we're going to have like fruit and veg that side. So here, also to give a bit of shade, that one there. Be nice idea. That's going to be D for damson. Quite like the damson tree, because they went to pickle and stuff like this. Now this Anderson shelter is sunk into the ground, so you kind of, there's your doorway. Okay. And like that, like that, like that. Okay. So essentially that's the level. So it's all, you've got all soil there, you see, and that you go down into the doorway there. Okay. So that's going to be like a bit of an earth bank there. And I thought, wouldn't that be great there to make that into a nice big strawberry patch? Because again, you're looking at flower colour, but everybody likes, who doesn't like strawberries? Actually, my friend doesn't like strawberries, but we're not going to that. So that's a strawberry patch there. You notice, like I said, this is just for my head here. And what we'll do on the back of here, I'll probably put an apple tree there. That's going to be like a fan trained one. So that's like a back of this. So this is a wall back of here. So what you've got then is I thought it's useful having a bit of a sketchy bit in it. Make a bit here. So it's known as an espalier, and what it'll do is and against the wall, right, and in that way, you've got apples and bits and pieces there. So we've got a bit of fruit going on there. Now, I don't want to go too crackers with too many fruit trees around the outside because that'll be shade. So the rest of it here essentially is going to be veg. So the glasshouse there, so that's a veg there. I do always fancy my chance of a nice clump of rhubarb there, because you would. I was just making some rhubarb vodka the other day. It's not bad. So you can make stuff. You see, I want a practical garden. You know, she wants to learn a bit more. Kelly wants to learn a bit more about plants, so she's got her flowers and got her veg. And then, so you've got veg there. Now we could have a bit of veg there. So for example, we could have some runner beans there maybe. But we'll do some more veg there. Flexible there, you know. And where the glasshouse is, we can have another veg bed there. Okay. And you've also got a veg bed there. So that's veg there. That's veg there. Okay. So that's a metre wide. That's 3 foot wide. So 3 foot. So that's a metre wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 metres long. Not a bad little plot. Okay. So there's your. So that there, that little triangle there. There's nothing wrong with keeping that as a gravel bit as well, because we can stand pots on there. All right. Got the veg bit there. Just to give yourself a little bit of. See, if this is your house here, I would tend to put things like runner beans up the back of here, because that would then give you a bit of what I'm looking for, privacy. That's it. So, and with the space here, you'll find there's a bit of a gap here. You've got strawberries there, and do you know what I'd quite like to put there? I think we'll put herbs there, because again, the food during the war, seasoning was always important. Okay, so cooking with herbs, there wasn't a lot going on. Cooking with fruit and sweet shoot, like the strawberries and things like that. So there was always a big drive for that. Okay. Now, what I'm almost tempted to do as well is, as that bank goes up here, we could even put just a little rockery in there. And the reason I do that is, apparently, get this, you can get Bluetooth rocks that play music. So what you could do is she could be playing her World War II music there. She could be sat in a little chair there. Stuff like that. So she's got there, and she's grooving along to Glenn Miller. She's sat in front of her Anderson shelter there. So you've got somewhere to sit. You've got your path. Okay, because, you know, when Hitler's posting these bombs down the door, you want to be legging it straight down there. Okay. Now, all of the plants I'm going to try and do on here are going to try and do stuff pre-war, so that you've got so it's as authentic as possible. Okay. I like watching period dramas because sometimes they get their plants wrong. For example, when I watch stuff and it's got blue polyanths and primulas in flower borders, they didn't appear till the 1960s. So if you start seeing them at Downton Abbey, wrong. So I'll try and get stuff on there, so for example, the runner beans, a lot of the bicolours, the red and white ones, are old varieties. So they look pretty, and you can eat them, and they're the right age, okay? Not always the case, because some of the older varieties were pigs for getting disease and that. So we're just going to work between the two, all right? So what I want you to do is something a bit like that. Just a bit of a sketch to give me an idea, okay? Have your reasoning at hand. I've read it back to front and front, but you can even have it written up here, okay? So you know what you're doing. If you don't have your reasoning, what happens is your theme goes off-piste and you're going to struggle, okay? So you start putting stuff in that's not meant to be there. The brain goes off on a tangent. So that helps you with your discipline when you're doing your design. So when you've got your theme and your reasoning, it puts your boundaries in, okay? Now, one other thing as well is orientation. So up here somewhere, I will put on a little map thing. So there's north, south, east, and west. So that's south there. So the sun comes up, okay, and it goes down like they do. So comes over and down. So you've got maximum amount of sun. The Anderson shelter will give the strawberries a little bit of shade, which isn't a bad thing, and with herbs as well. Okay. So we could even, if we alter it, there's no reason why you couldn't sink a few water butts or sink an old water butt there so it catches the water off the roof. There's loads of things you could do and add details to that. And the problem is you'll get caught up with doing the bits and pieces. I only want the sketch. Okay. So your next mission, should you choose to accept it, is to produce a working sketch or a fact packet drawing, as you would call it, like that. Okay. So have a go and show me what you got.